They keep targeting you because you make yourself weak. Do you love pain? Hi, Bella Beauties. Welcome back to my channel. This is the fifth social strategy video today. This is kind of a part two to my last video called You Have to Be Exclusive, You Don't Have a Choice. But basically, this is some street smarts or common sense things that might not be so common that you will need to move through society. Okay. Today's theme will be how to protect yourself socially. Okay. You guys have to realize life is one big game. Okay. If you have been watching this channel for a while, or you've come across my videos, you can no longer choose to be naive. Okay. Your third eye has been opened. Okay. You've broken the fourth wall. Okay. You realize you've been bamboozled all your life. Okay. And now you have to unlearn everything that you've been indoctrinated with as a child through your teens and learn the real world, how the world actually works. Okay. Learn about human nature. Okay. So that you will know how to win socially and just in life in general. Okay. With that being said, let's move on to today's gems. Number one, you are not alone. You have a support system. Okay. If you are somebody who maybe doesn't have a strong support system, maybe you're no contact with your parents, or maybe you just don't have a lot of family, or you came from like a broken home or something, or maybe you don't have a lot of friends. When you're first meeting new people or getting to know someone, do not tell them you are alone and isolated with no support system, okay? Or even hint at that, okay? Don't go around telling people that you have no family, no real support, or you feel disconnected, okay? It creates a vulnerability that other people will pick up on and use against you, okay? Knowingly or unknowingly, okay? Toxic people are good at picking out people who are isolated. Okay. They see them as easy to control and manipulate. So without friends, family, or allies to provide guidance or protection, isolated people are more vulnerable to exploitation. Okay. That's how, pimps, they, target foster care kids that just turned 18 or just ran away from home because they're alone, isolated. They don't have a support system, so they're easy to, isolate and easy to manipulate and control and exploit. Okay, so that's just an example. But basically, being alone and having no support system makes you vulnerable, and you should not be telling people that, especially people you're just getting to know. Toxic people know there's no one to call out their behaviors or help the victim see the manipulation for what it is. Okay, this lack of accountability allows them to operate without fear of consequences. Isolation also breeds a sense of loneliness or low self-esteem within you, which makes it easier for toxic people to emotionally manipulate you. Okay, they can guilt trip you, gaslight you, or play on your insecurities without interference from other people, right? Because you don't have anyone else. Isolated people are also likely to tolerate toxic behavior out of fear of losing even unhealthy relationships that they have, because you don't have anyone else. You don't want to let that relationship go because you don't have anyone else, right? Even if it's bad, you just at least want somebody. That's not healthy. Okay, if that's the only person you have in your life, you're more willing to accept bad behavior from them because you don't have anyone else, and that's dangerous. Okay, toxic people thrive on control and dominance. Okay, and targeting someone with no support system ensures that they can maintain the upper hand always. There's less risk of the victim seeking outside help, okay, or standing up to them or finding a way out, okay? It's not just about convenience, it's about preying on what they perceive as weakness to fulfill their own need for power and control, okay? So if you're that isolated person with little to no support system, when you're getting to know people, don't let them know that. If you don't have friends, or if you don't have family, or if you don't have this, that, don't let people know that. People are always scanning for weaknesses to exploit, okay? If they ask, you have a full social life and family that supports and protects you, okay? Keep your vulnerabilities to yourself until you build trust with these people. When people know you have people that love and supports you and protects you, they are less likely to play with you because they know there will be consequences, okay? Or they know you will not tolerate their bullshit as much because they're not your lifeline, okay? They're not the only person in your life, okay? That's how you protect yourself, okay? So you're never alone, okay? You have a support system. Number two, if person A is being mistreated by person B, that doesn't mean that person A is automatically a good person. Fight the urge to save people. Okay. So, as empathetic people or my codependents or people pleasers, we have a big issue with this. Okay. We tend to project ourselves onto people, right? You see somebody getting mistreated and it triggers your own trauma and you jump in to save them because nobody saved you. It's really about yourself. Okay. Trying to save your inner child. Okay. If you want more information on this, watch my video called You're Not a Good Person, but we think we're saving them, but it's really about us. So we tend to think that the person that is being mistreated is just like us, that is also a good person, right? And they just need our help. We automatically project good qualities onto the person being mistreated. Okay. And that is dangerous. Not everybody who is being mistreated is automatically a good person. Sometimes two toxic people get into it. Okay. There's conflict. And the more dominant person, the more dominant toxic person dominates the weaker toxic person. Okay. But that doesn't mean that the weaker toxic person is still not toxic. Two narcissists will repel each other. Okay. And if they don't repel each other, they will find some poor sap that they can both bully and pick on, okay, because they want to feel superior, okay. The ones that repel each other usually have conflict because they both want to control and dominate the other, okay. For example, if there's an overt narcissist and a covert narcissist, usually the overt narcissist will win, okay. But does that mean that the covert narcissist is innocent? No, right? Does that mean that they're a good person? No, okay. Our empathy for someone being mistreated can make us ignore red flags. Okay. We see ourselves in them and we project our own qualities onto them. They are not you. They're not from the same background. Even if they were, they're still not you. Their brain doesn't process trauma the same way. Their brain doesn't work the same way that yours works. Okay. They are not you. Stop projecting yourself and your qualities onto people. Just because someone is being mistreated does not make them a good person. Well, how do we protect ourselves from this? Okay. Do not rush to save people. Okay. Resist the urge to jump in and save someone right away. Do not let your empathy cloud your judgment. Okay. The person who's being mistreated is part of the problem sometimes. Boundaries for yourself and mind your business. You don't have to fight every fight. You're not going to save the whole world. Okay. Sometimes somebody that's being mistreated is also horrible. Okay. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes they are. Okay, so mind your business, use context clues, resist the urge to save everyone, and mind your business. Okay? Number 3, say no to learning from experience. Okay? See, toxic people usually leave a trail of destruction behind them. Okay, they've hurt a lot of people. So you will notice people will eventually distance themselves from them or leave their life. Okay, or choose not to engage with them. When you notice that a lot of people are distancing themselves from someone, there's usually a reason behind it. Okay. Usually it's easy to get caught up in trying to be empathetic or giving someone the benefit of the doubt. But the reality is people are usually avoiding this person for a reason. Okay. If other people are keeping their distance, it's usually because they've seen something you might not have caught yet. Okay. People might warn you about them. Okay, now there's a difference between this and somebody like running a whole smear campaign against somebody to isolate or ostracize them. Okay, usually the difference is with a smear campaign, people will tell you why you should not be around that person. Like with an actual bad person or toxic person, people won't really tell you why, right? Because if they say something, the toxic person will probably rage at them or set their eyes on them again. Like become a target again. So they really usually won't tell you why they're distancing themselves or why, like, they're getting away from that person or whatever. But they'll just get away from them. Like their body language will just signal that they're staying away from this person or like this person might be dangerous. They'll probably never tell you why you should stay away from that person. But with your smear campaign, people will usually, catch you by yourself and tell you like, oh, stay away from that girl. She's this. No. If multiple people are staying away from someone, there's usually a reason. Okay. You don't need to figure it out for yourself. Okay. Toxic people thrive on second chances, especially from empathetic individuals who want to see for themselves. Okay. Quote unquote. I want to see for myself. Okay. I don't do all of that following thing. Okay. I'm going to get to know everybody by myself and da 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 da. That's not always the right thing. I'm not saying all the time, but that's not always the right thing. If you see everybody or most people are getting away from one person, it's usually for a reason. Okay. Don't be the next victim who learns the hard way. Okay. Learn from other people's experience. Okay. Learn from what other people are doing. Okay. Learn to spot the difference between genuine warnings and smear campaigns. Okay. Not every negative comment about someone is valid, but if there is a widespread, quiet avoidance, okay, from someone, is usually a red flag that you should not ignore. Okay. If you're curious or feel sorry for that person, sometimes it's best to follow the lead of those that are around you. Okay. Staying away from these people could save you from unnecessary drama or manipulation. Okay. But even think about it, even if you still try to befriend that person, what are you trying to do? Like, what are you trying to save them? Like, are you trying to what are you trying to do? Ask yourself, how is this going to benefit me? If I get with this person and I isolate myself from other people, how is that going to benefit me? It's not going to benefit you. Okay. Because if that person is truly toxic and you align yourself with them, then everybody else will really stay away from you because they think, well, if you like them, then you must be just like them too. Okay. So now you're eliminating yourself from all these other people that could be helpful in your network. Okay. For example, that whole Diddy thing, like whoever stays by his side is now going to be shunned by other people in Hollywood. Okay. That's just how it is. Okay. I don't make the rules. I'm just teaching you how to play a game. Okay. Like really ask yourself, how am I going to benefit from still befriending this person or being around this person, even though nobody else wants to be around them for whatever reason? How are you going to benefit? See, with a lot of people pleasers and codependents and empathetic people, a lot of times we think we're being a good person, but it's really our ego that's in the way. Do you think you can love everybody into changing and not being toxic anymore? That's really an ego thing. You're not God. Okay. Protect yourself. That's like when you try to save people all the time, that's how you get yourself into a lot of trouble. Okay. Mind your business, protect yourself. Do not learn from experience, learn from other people. Okay. Just because someone else learned a hard lesson doesn't mean you have to go through the same process. Okay. So instead of doing that, learn from their experience and avoid the same pitfalls. Okay. All right. Number 5. When you first join any social group, they will observe you, ask you questions about yourself to size you up, then they will strike, aka test your boundaries. Okay. When you enter a new social group, okay, whether it's your church group, a new friend group, or like a new job, your work colleagues, or like an organization on a college campus or whatever, it's a social group. Okay, it's a social group. First, what people will do is they will want to get to know you because you're the new girl, right? Maybe you're really beautiful or you're just new, right? So they don't know you. They're gonna try to get to know you, right? It sounds very innocent, right? People are not just casually getting to know you. Okay. They're sizing you up. Okay. They will observe your behavior, ask questions about your life, and see how you react. Okay. They're studying you. Okay. They want to establish a sense of control early on. Okay. If they can push you and see you don't push back, they may try to exploit that. Okay. Asking personal questions or making small advances helps them to figure out if you're an easy target for manipulation or if you stand your ground. Okay. They want to establish a sense of control early on. If they can push you and see that you don't push back, they might try to exploit that. Okay. So this is all part of a strategy to understand your vulnerabilities, your boundaries, and where they can push to either gain your trust or manipulate you. Okay. Once they have a sense of who you are, they will strike. Okay, meaning that they will start testing your boundaries to see how much they can get away with. Okay, this could be subtly overstepping your personal boundaries. Maybe somebody's too close to you, or somebody leans over you, or somebody accidentally bump you on purpose, or whatever. Or they might throw shade your way to see if you catch it, or they will insult you as a joke, or something like that. Okay. I'm telling you guys this so that you are not confused or hurt when it happens. Okay. So that you don't freeze up or get emotional when it happens. Like, I want you guys to anticipate it and be prepared. Okay. This happens with every new group that you're in. If you're new, that's going to happen. Okay. 99% of the time it's going to happen. Okay. So you need to understand this, know this will happen, be prepared, and know how to protect yourself. Okay. I don't want you to be bamboozled or like feel confused when it happens. Okay. It's going to happen. All right. So, how do we protect ourselves from this? Okay. First, don't share too much too soon. Okay. I have a whole video on my channel called You Talk Too Much about things that I don't think you should share with people. Also, my first point in this video, okay, do not overshare, okay, about your loneliness or that you don't have a support system or whatever. Okay. Those are all weaknesses. Okay. So, keep your responses light and neutral, okay, until you feel secure in the group, okay, like you can trust them or whatever. And that will take a long time, okay? It's like a slow burn kind of thing. You will realize that a lot of groups, most groups, that over time you figure out you can't really trust these people anyway. So that's number one, okay, on how to protect yourself from this. And also observe them. Like they're observing you and studying you and sizing you up. So you need to learn how to do that too. So pay attention to their weaknesses too, so that when they do come for you, you're ready to shut it down. Okay, because they're gonna test you. They're gonna test you. All of them. All of the groups. Okay, they're gonna test you. And even if it's not a group, guys, it could be anybody. It could be a single person. Okay, a new friend that you're getting to know or whatever. They will do that to you too. Okay, so you need to be ready to shut it down when it happens. Okay, so observe their body, their face, whatever, how they walk, how they talk, like just as they talk to you. So you're gonna talk, they're gonna talk. As they talk, just file that information away, because they're gonna try you. Okay, and when they do try you, that's your time to shut it down, so that they know you're not to be played with. Okay, and you have to shut it down the first time. Okay, to get your respect, especially in groups. Okay. And you're going to make sure you set your boundaries early on. If you don't know what your boundaries are, you need the Glow Getter Guide book now on Amazon. So in the Glow Getter Guide book, there's a whole chapters on different types of boundaries that you need to have for yourself. So what are your, physical boundaries, your verbal boundaries, your financial boundaries, your time boundaries, whatever boundaries. What are they? You need to know what they are so that you can set them when people cross them. Okay. So set boundaries early on. When somebody tests you, you shut it down. Okay. And you set your boundary. Okay. And also don't take it personally. Like I said, you need to view it as a game. I'm telling you guys this so that when it does happen, you're ready for it. And you don't go into a whole victim mode about, oh, why me? Well, I'm so nice. I'm just such a good person. Like, why are they doing this to me? It's not just to you. They try that with everyone. But you need to know that your niceness or your goodness does not prevent or protect you from that kind of stuff. Number 5, assume everybody is lying until proven otherwise. Okay. So when meeting new people, okay, especially in social or professional settings, it's very wise to assume that not everything they say is completely true. Okay. People wear a mask. Okay. They have their real selves that has all their vulnerabilities, their insecurities, all the bad stuff. Part of that is hidden. Okay. And they present to you a mask, and you should present your mask too. Like in the Glow Getter Guide book, the last chapter is called My Mask. And you can either, write down things that you're okay with sharing in public spaces, or you can do the opposite and write down things that you will never share in public spaces. But either way, they have a mask on, and you need a mask too. Okay. But basically, people are not going to tell you the part about themselves that makes them look bad. Okay. Some people might exaggerate. They might lie outright, okay, about who they are, what they've done, where they've been to, whatever. They say things that make them look the best, in social settings. Okay. That's just smart on their part. Okay. They're just selling themselves. But people lie. Okay. People lie. So, don't always just take whatever they say as face value. I know you're probably thinking, well, why would they lie? There's no reason to lie to me. Like, I'm not anybody. Why would they have to lie to me? Girl, people lie. Okay. Some people lie because it's 75 degrees outside. Okay. Because the sun is out. Okay. Some people are pathological liars. They just lie just because. Okay. And some people love getting away with lying and tricking people. And some people lie to get admiration from you. Like they will say something like really nice that they've done or whatever. And you'll be like, oh my God, that's so cool. She's so cool. Oh my gosh, she's been this, she's been that. It's to get your admiration, your attention, your adoration. to make them, for you to put them on that pedestal, to make you feel like they're bigger than they actually are. And sometimes it's not so malicious. Sometimes people lie because they're very insecure in who they actually are. So they will, they will embellish to seem better than they actually are. Sometimes people are just insecure. So people lie for a lot of reasons, okay, especially in big social settings, okay? Even if it's not, a big social settings, it could be a new friend that you're getting to know. They could be lying to you left and right, okay? People have a reason for embellishing the truth, and it's either to impress you, manipulate you, or to gain something from you, okay? It's not always intentional, okay? But it's still important to question what's being said. Okay. Sometimes people will leave out key facts or present a very skewed or version of events to make themselves seem more favorable. Okay. Which is just smart on their part. Okay. You can't blame them. Okay. Wouldn't you? All right. Doing a little research can help you avoid falling into scams, toxic relationships or friendships, or risky situations, especially if you're dealing with someone new that you just met or that you're getting to know. Okay, either way, they're new to your life. Okay, and so how do we protect ourselves? Okay, how do we protect ourselves from these types of people, from getting lied to and all of that? You need to listen carefully and be aware of inconsistencies in your story. So it's important to pay attention when people are talking. So sometimes people will lie, but then they'll keep talking and adding on to the point where you might even feel like, okay, yeah, she's embellishing, like she's lying, right? Like, so just pay attention and just be aware of any inconsistencies that might show up in their story. Or if it just sounds way too like unbelievable, like exaggerated, yeah, they're probably lying. So instead of just accepting what they say, ask follow-up questions to get more context, okay? People who are lying will become very defensive or avoid giving details when asked to elaborate, okay? So it was already enough to come up with this lie, but now you're asking a bunch of questions that they're not prepared to answer, okay? Or they might just become very defensive out of nowhere. So when they do that, they're lying, kind of, okay? Also, observe how they respond under pressure. Okay, if someone is trying to cover something up, they might act uncomfortable or shift the story or avoid answering very direct questions about it. Okay. Also, you can check out their background. So when you go home or after you leave or whatever, you can look at their social media profile, okay, just to see if something is consistent, or search online, Google, for any information that can confirm or contradict what they've said to you. Or you can get other people's opinions. Like, don't hesitate to ask, trusted friends or families or whoever, what they think of that person or like whatever. But don't do it like in like a weird, malicious way. Otherwise, people will think like you're a gossip, and that might turn people off. So, like, let's say somebody that you just met said that they own this specific restaurant or whatever. They own a bunch of restaurants, right? And then you are talking to your friend or talking to a colleague and be like, oh yeah, I have this friend, I just met, he owns this restaurant on this, street here. Have you been there before? Yeah. And then your colleague says, oh, what? No, he doesn't own that restaurant. I know the owner. That's not the owner. Then now you know that person you just met is lying to you. That's what I mean, right? So when you want to find things out, don't do it like in a malicious way, like, oh, is this true that, like, calm down, okay? You want to do it in a very subtle way. Like, you're just talking, you're just having a conversation, and it just came up in the conversation, right? That's how you find out things, okay? So that's how you can get red flags about people. Like, that's how you can do your research. So do a background check. If it's the guy you're dating, you should probably do a background check. Okay. Probably do a background check, just to make sure they don't have any, weird, crazy charges that, might make them a horrible person. Okay. All right. That's the end of the video, guys. Check out the Glow Getter Guide book on Amazon, and also the Trauma Dump Journal on Amazon. The Glow Getter Guide book is an amazing book for discovering who you are, what your boundaries and standards are, and how to set them, okay? The Trauma Dump Journal is great for dumping your traumas and navigating healing your past the right way. Okay, there are many tools and prompts in there to help you heal your trauma. I will leave all the links in the pinned comment below. Also check out my Spotify in my link tree. All right, glow getters, I will see you in the next video. Bye.